What makes a mutant too powerful? The ability to travel through time, break reality, change it as they see fit, freeze hell over? Turns out it's all of this and more. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. I am your host, Amanda McKnight, and this is Top 10 Nerd. Today we'll be counting down the top 10 mutants too powerful for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's get into it. Number 10, Tempest. Imagine if instead of needing the Time Stone to manipulate time, we actually just had a hero who could do it just like that. Like that was their thing. Enter Tempest. Tempest is Eva Bell. Her mutant power is just that, time manipulation or chronokinesis. While not considered Omega level yet, Tempest is well on her way to being there. Her powers allow her to manipulate time around her, speeding it up or slowing it down, making her pretty hard to defeat. Because if you came at her, she could just be like, it takes you like 100 years to take a step, so basically you're dead. Done. Think of all of those scenes that we saw with Quicksilver in Fox's X-Men films, but instead of Tempest moving really fast, she just instead manipulates the speed of others around her through manipulating time. Tempest can also use her abilities to travel through time, but has less control over this ability. Hence why she's not Omega level yet. Number 9, Blindfold. We haven't seen Ruth Aldine for some time, but she has been hinted to be a descendant of Irene Adler, aka the mutant known as Destiny. Ruth was known for being a powerful telepath who also possesses telekinetic skills. She was mainly known for her astral form and astral plane powers and abilities, as well as her ability to perceive future events and tap into someone's or something's history via touch. It's also important to note that she's one of the few people that can make an astral form that's also physical, which is pretty crazy. Blindfold would likely not be a character we would expect to see in the MCU if we get a story involving Krakoa, as on Krakoa it seems that no precog mutants are really allowed to exist, especially not if they're as gifted as Blindfold was. And probably not also because she's related to Destiny, so that's also a no-no. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving this list and you want more lists like it, I know I love talking about mutants with all of you fun folks out there, be sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Number 8, Iceman. I really don't want Iceman to be too powerful for the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the same way that I don't want Storm or Jean to be either, because I just like those characters. But the reality is he, like the others, might just be a bit too powerful. Iceman is an Omega level mutant, which basically means he is not only super capable and disciplined when it comes to the use of his powers, but is also considered the tippy top of excellence in his power category. Iceman started out as really Snowman and his little black booties, but now he has grown to be so powerful that he can help to effectively terraform a planet with his abilities, aiding the terraforming of Mars in planet-size X-Men when it came to ensuring there was enough water on that planet. Not only that, but Bobby no longer ever needs to fight alone, as he can also now make little ice or snow golems, effectively always possessing an army just at his fingertips. He's like, ice it up. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is like some Salt Bae something. That's how Iceman uses powers. He's like, I am Salt Bae. Number 7, Kid Omega. Despite the fact that Iceman is really impressive, I had to put Quentin Quire a number above on this list. Despite his multiple comedic deaths in the Dawn of X and Reign of X era, oh, what a time. The fact remains that telepaths tend to rule, while by comparison most other power sets just tend to drool. Sorry. Quentin Quire has come a long way from when he was first introduced. Sure, we knew he had potential, but we're now seeing him grow into that potential, and in some cases even exceed it. And let's keep in mind that he's still pretty young in comparison to some of the other main cast of well-established mutants, who for the most part are completely grown up now. Kid Omega still has a few things to learn, but is considered to be one of the strongest telepaths in existence already, and an Omega level mutant. Number 6, Vulcan. Vulcan is known for being Omega level or even beyond. He is the youngest and most powerful of the Summers brothers. Vulcan is Gabriel Summers. At the time when Christopher and Catherine Summers were abducted, it turned out that Catherine was actually pregnant with Gabriel. When she was killed, he was removed from her body and was matured in an incubation accelerator, skipping many of his childhood years. Vulcan would manifest energy-based powers like his brothers. His powers allow him to absorb and redistribute a diverse group of energy types. Not only that, but he can absorb a lot of energy when it comes to his limits. He can also use his abilities to absorb and drain the powers of others under certain circumstances, thereby suppressing his opponent's power. Which is pretty OP. Let's be real. Number 5. Legion. One of the most powerful mutants out there that we'll likely never see in the MCU is Legion. Legion is the son of Charles Xavier aka Professor X and Gabrielle Haller. The two supposedly fell in love during Charles' time in Israel, and David Haller aka Legion was born as a result of their love affair. However, it was more recently suggested that this story was not entirely based in love and romance, but that Charles had sought out Gabrielle as an ideal mate when it came to the chances of creating a mutant who could warp reality. It should also be noted that of all of Moira's lives that she has lived, the current continuity of 616 is her only life where Legion has existed. Legion has a dissociative identity disorder, which also lends to his mutant abilities. For each separate persona that resides within him, each has their own unique set of powers. He is an Omega level mutant capable of pretty much almost anything, and has claimed that within him reside at least 200 Omega level split personalities. That's a lot of Omega level. Sounds like it would be a lot for Marvel to tackle. Also that hairdo. That would be a lot, just in and of itself. I love Legion's hairdo. I love that he still has it. Number 4. Storm. As I said earlier, I really don't want an MCU mutant superhero squad without Storm, now Queen of Arakko, formerly known as the planet Mars, but the reality is if we're going to have mutants like her and Iceman, or really any of the other Omega levels on this list, we're gonna need to do something about their power levels. We might have to meet a much younger Aurora, who was less in control of her powers, or otherwise just tone down some of her capabilities, as Storm is now pretty OP, and it's very deserved, truth be told. The thing I really love about Storm actually is, sure, I mean she can manipulate the weather on a scale that could threaten the whole globe with a massive storm, but she also doesn't need her mutant powers to be intimidating or be powerful. She's also a master combatant, having been trained by some of the best warriors in all of Wakanda, on top of her already established abilities, and she could likely intimidate most people who have heard tell of her with just a glance, because she's Storm. Number 3. Jean Grey. More specifically, the Phoenix version of Jean, or just really unlocked potential version of Jean Grey as well, I guess. Marvel Girl, even initially in the comics, struck me as a powerhouse when we first met her, although we would see her powers reined in throughout those early years. Remember when, in the Danger Room, her test was to basically do a super fast cross-stitch using her telekinesis powers? She eventually surpassed the mental blocks that were put in place by Professor X, initially to protect her when she was younger. Jean Grey is considered to be one of the most powerful psionics in existence. She can defeat you with just a mere thought. So to have her in the MCU, like Storm, we need to tone her down or have her show up with mental blocks firmly in place in order just to have her there. Number 2. X-Man. X-Man is Nate Gray, the genetic offspring of Jean Grey and Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. He was made in a lab of Sinisters but hails from an alternate reality. Nate is the genetic child of Marvel Girl and Cyclops in the Age of Apocalypse reality of Earth 295. However, that wouldn't stop him from venturing into the reality of Earth 616 from time to time. He was created by Sinister while Essex was a servant of High Lord Apocalypse, who ruled for a long time in the AOA reality. Nate was created to be the perfect mutant and is considered to be Omega level or even beyond, being considered the most powerful psionic in any reality. His list of abilities is vast, but basically he is a psionic, mutant, and extremely powerful telepath and telekinetic who is capable of warping reality. He's also considered a potential or suitable host for the Phoenix Force as well. Just a little bonus for you. Number 1. Onslaught. It was a toss-up, by the way, for the top spot on this list for me between Nate Gray and Onslaught, but ultimately I think in a fight Onslaught would win because he's bigger, and big guys usually stand a pretty good chance of winning in the comics, even if they are villains. I know that sounds like a simple reason as to why he'd win, but I stand by it. Onslaught is like a massive dude. A massive physical astral form, you know what I mean? Onslaught might have made a return in the Way of X series and following one-shot Onslaught Revelation, but I don't think we'll be ready for him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe anytime soon. Onslaught is an insanely powerful mutant who initially represented the dark side of Charles Xavier combined with Magneto. Onslaught was unleashed when Charles snapped and defeated Magneto more permanently by wiping his mind clean. In reality, however, Charles was not able to completely get rid of Magneto, because that's not how that works, and instead Magneto's mind was simply removed from his body and kind of absorbed into Xavier, awakening Charles' own dark side and bonding with him to create Onslaught. And now Onslaught lives in everyone. Yay! Spoilers. Who are some of your favorite overpowered mutants? Which Omega mutant do you think is the most powerful? Were they mentioned here, or did you have someone else in mind? What mutant would you most love to see show up in the MCU, and why? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I am your host Amanda McKnight. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.